Hello beautiful people. Today I have a more casual video. I'm feeling a little under the weather and I have a little cup of tea over here, but I have so much going on in my heart and just inspiration, and just wanted to share a few things that kind of have been on the top of my head, and maybe this will help you, maybe this will serve your life, or get inspiration from this, and or important reminders in your life. So first thing first, I was reminded recently, and I just have been in a way more peaceful state. I got a reminder that nothing matters as much as a peaceful mind. A peaceful mind is ultimately what it's all about. In September, I've been like go, 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 meeting new people, going to big summits, doing new things in life, and then my health kind of took a toll. And then I realized ultimately all that matters is peace of mind, and it's so interesting how our bodies are so wise, right? Our bodies will guide us back to what we need to do. Our bodies will tell you what it needs. And I'm not talking about like urges, right? Like animal urges. I'm talking about like if it needs rest, if this choice is not right for us. Like I remember a couple of years ago, I was dating this person, and every time I was around them, I felt unsafe. Like my body would have this like background anxiety, like in the body, even if they didn't do anything like threatening to me. Later, I obviously found out that they weren't right for me, and they were very much like a narcissist, and dating them was like super traumatic. But from the first time I met them, my body knew, which is crazy, right? So anyways, back to today, back to the present. In September, I was running around a little too hard and meeting people that made me feel uncomfortable in my body, and I was kind of like pushing through the discomfort, because I always talk about like putting yourself out there, getting comfortable in the uncomfortable, and sometimes the lines can get blurred, and sometimes I can get a little swept away, let's say, and sometimes I can get a little hardcore with it, and the lines can get blurred, and my body was very stressed, my stomach was tense, and I couldn't sleep for a while, for weeks. Not that I didn't sleep at all, I slept, but I had interrupted sleep, which was very unusual for me, where I would wake up and not sleep for hours in the middle of the night, and sometimes have a hard time falling back asleep. And it was happening more and more often, which was very unusual. So my body was ultimately telling me, hey, you need to prioritize your peace. And thankfully I have Dharma talks to go to, and I always kind of like wrote down and knew that one of my top values are peace of mind and freedom. So it was interesting to see myself get caught up again in the societal programming that this needs to be done, that needs to be achieved. And so ultimately, if you also feel like you're struggling with like the programming, right, that you need to be a certain way, you need to be perfect, you need to achieve this, you need to be here by a certain time, this video is ultimately for you as well. And it's not like this video is not about like, oh, I've got all the answers. It's just a heart to heart. If you don't necessarily have somebody to talk about this with, and or you just, maybe me sharing this will help you wake up and realize, oh wow, yeah, ultimately nothing is worth you compromising your health. Nothing is worth you compromising your peace of mind. And maybe I've shared this in other videos before briefly, but I just wanted to remind you that if that's what you need today. And ultimately, I know not everybody can have a privilege of just taking time to slow down, and thankfully I do have the privilege to do that, and I do have the time and the space, but I also organized my life in a way where I do have the space and time to rest if I need, and I've been really prioritizing peace of mind. And by that I mean meditation. I've been reading spiritual books. Specifically right now I'm reading books on Buddhism, and again, it's not like a religious book or anything. I'm currently reading a book called Buddha's Brain, and Jonathan recommended to me, and it is a book written by a neuroscientist, actually, a neuropsychologist. And so it's very science driven, and they explain the whole science behind practicing Buddhism, behind practicing mindfulness, practicing kindness, contentment, compassion, and love. So what's not to like about it, right? So it's not like being religious, but having spiritual practice is so important for our mental health. And I've also been practicing eating cleaner and just sleeping on time and going to bed early, taking a bath before bed, not every day, but as often as I can. Usually it's been once a week. I try to do twice a week, and only meeting up with friends and family, people that I feel safe around, and which is something I really encourage you to do as well, even if it may feel like that's impossible. I have to meet these friends, I have to hang out with this family member, but also question, do you really have to, right? Hi kitty. Hi sweet boy. Mochi's saying hi. Hi baby boy. Hi baby. What are the ways that you can infuse tranquility into your life? What are the things that you can say no to? And when you feel like, oh, I can't just do that, question, is that true? Is that really true? Even clients sometimes, right? Like even if you have a client, let's say for me, I don't know your life circumstance, but let's say for me, let's say I have a makeup client that is very loyal, right? But is extremely, extremely difficult to work with. And every time I work with them, I feel stressed. I feel like they are just have bad energy, you know? And I'm not saying bad energy like they're grieving or they're going through something hard. I can deal with that, but I'm saying like they maybe are entitled and they're demanding and they're difficult and they always require extra time, but they don't want to pay for that extra time, let's say, right? And they're just like, every time I meet them, I feel terror. Whenever I see that they booked me, I feel uncomfortable in my body, right? And even when I'm with them, I don't feel good, and I just always just feel not great after. My mind can go, well, they're paying, you have to work with them. Well, they're consistent or they have been good client, like meaning pay, like booking regularly and paying you, right? So you have to work with them. But that's the thing with your mind, right? It will tell you that, but then you have to question, is that true? Because the thing is, when you jeopardize yourself, when you put yourself in circumstances where you don't feel safe, when your inner child doesn't feel safe, you betray yourself. You do. And we can always, you know, give it reason. We all can always give it good enough excuses and reasons. And of course, it's a noble reason to want to take care of your family, to want to feed your kids. And if you're watching this, you're like, but I have to feed my kids. I can't just choose who I work with, who I don't. I just have to make the money. The thing is that, and I honor that, right? I honor that. And if that's your situation, and if you just leave this, don't even consider this situation that I'm sharing. Don't consider this advice. Even though I don't really want to give advice, I just want to give you, challenge your thoughts, right? Give you maybe new perspectives. So I can be in that survival, be in that state of like, but I have to work with this client. Or I can step into my worth, right? And say to myself, I deserve clients who treat me right. I deserve to work with people that I feel safe with, that I feel joyful with, that I feel that I have fun with. And I have that so much. And the thing is that I used to work with people, I used to work in companies and in work environments that were so toxic, and I made way more money at a time. But guess what? And then I would have to spend all of that money to take care of my mental health, to travel and shop, because I just didn't feel good. I was constantly abandoning myself and betraying myself. And to make up for that, in my mental health, in my health, I had to spend money to soothe myself in shopping, drinking, going out, buying expensive things, not to mention medical bills, right? So in the end, is it worth it? Now, I maybe for right now yet not make as much as I used to, but I know if I keep to this path of serving with joy and peace and choosing people that are right for me, choosing the line of work that lights me up, that where I can feel like I also can light other people up because I'm lit up, because I feel energized by it, then I know that success is inevitable for me as well. So choose peace of mind, choose worthiness, choose joy whenever you can, and really question your mind, right? When it says, I have to. Do you really have to? Or is that programming? Is it ego? Is it just cultural? Like, I have to do this to get this, right? Always question that. Speaking of programming, our minds will always tell us that we need to do this to be happy. It's in the next thing. When we achieve this, we'll be happy. We need to like do all these tasks to get somewhere, to be somewhere, to become something, to be enough, right? And this is where the tricky part is. And I learned that it's not about doing something new, it's not about getting somewhere new, it's not about achieving something new, it's about really engaging with life today as is, right? And there's a caveat, though. It doesn't mean that you just stay exactly where you're at, even you're in an unhappy relationship, unhappy marriage, unhappy work. That's not what I'm saying. But you can also start with engaging life today, with working with your peace of mind and being content and happy in your mind today, right? So that you can still leave the job that you hate if it's really sucking your soul, or you can still leave the relationship that is maybe abusive, or you feel like you're settling in. And you can also always work on happiness today, on just really soaking in the present moment, soaking in the beauty, everything, all the blessings that you have today, right? So it's kind of like a two-pronged approach. I was talking to Jonathan recently and we talked about it. You know, like recently I've been kind of like itching to move. I feel like there's got to be more to life. And Jonathan was like, well, don't you think it's, you know, about just being in peace and happy in your mind? Yes, I am still working on cultivating those things, and it's about practicing and training your mind to be happy here. It's about training your mind to feel fully alive, to feel fully engaged. Like today I went to get a little tea with my friend and we worked together in a cafe, and then yesterday I had a little walk with another friend, and even like throughout the days, right? It's just like, and being with Mochi or being with Jonathan or being in a women's circle yesterday, you can either go through life, can kind of like have a hazy state, or you can really be present and soak in the moment. And of course, taking care of your health really helps with that. Taking care of your energy truly does help with that. And it's also a constant choice and practice to be present, to soak in this moment, and to really, like, even when I'm drinking this tea, right, like looking at this cup of how beautiful it is. Like, I love the white and I love the red, and like looking at my nails, like I've been experimenting with new colors. You guys know how I love reds and all shades of red, but I've been kind of like enjoying some different colors. Or even my engagement ring that I wear every single day, I still soak it in every day. Not every day at this point, but maybe it is every day. I still look at it often and just really soak in its beauty, right? Or just like finding a little things every day and really practice being present. And it's hard, I understand, it's really hard. Our brain is like automatically just goes into autopilot when we're driving, when we're doing things, mundane things. But life is in the small mundane things. So we need to practice to switch on that joy, switch on that sense of aliveness, engage with people, engage with the world, engage with the things that are around us, right? Like even me here, like right now, I'm feeling under the weather and I was just feeling kind of like just like curling up with a blanket, which I did. I took a nap and then I was like, guess what? I also want to be here. I want to talk to you guys. I want to share what's on my mind, and I brought up the energy, you know, and it's still very kind of like calming and probably more on the low energy side, but it's not like a negative energy. I wanted to come in with like beautiful positive energy and maybe share some wisdom that I had on my mind, that I had on my heart, and hopefully this also reminds you of what's important, right? And hopefully this also helps you kind of like snap out of that like taking for everything for granted state. And yeah, maybe this will also bring you some peace and bring you some joy in your day. Yeah, so that's kind of like all I have for today. It's kind of like short and sweet, or maybe it's a long and sweet. I don't know, depending on the editing. I don't really look at how long my videos are. Jonathan just edits these. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and maybe chill and rest and read a book. And I'm currently reading, like I said, The Buddha's Brain and also The Path to Integrity by Martha Beck, which is absolutely incredible. I highly recommend these two books if you are on the market for something that will infuse your mind with more peace and your life with more joy and just more authenticity and integrity, like living life in alignment. I highly recommend these books. And if you need one-on-one help, I'm here to support you as well. As always, my Calendly link is in the description below. If you need one-on-one coaching and you want one-on-one support, let's schedule a free consultation call and see how I can support you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.